Angel, I'm going to come up to you and ask you to highlight a specific example, if you will, of where you all have been rolling out this capability.
Oh, definitely. So, like I talked about a second ago, we already had a really good, solid plan that was
Hmm.
prioritized that basically had some of our mission critical systems, of course, at the very top, and then some of the systems that weren't as impactful at the bottom. At the very top of of that list were our systems that do case management, for example, Spartan, our licensing systems, and our tracing systems that are basically operated by one of our directorates. I guess I can say a group of directorates, one
Hmm.
being the Office of Science and Technology, which is mine, and the other being Enforcement Programs and Services, also known as EPS. So over the past, I'm going to say 12 months, there has been a large push for zero trust implementation throughout the portfolio. And some of the early adopters were those two groups. One being EPS's licensing and tracing systems, and Spartan Case Management, which is run by field operations. So both of those systems are critical elements or critical pieces to the way ATF does its regulatory and enforcing mission in regards to firearms. The Spartan application is probably one of our largest, and in that case management system, it is uh, goodness. I mean, if you can imagine case management from A to Z, Spartan does it.
Hmm.
That includes connectivity to state and local law enforcement, that also includes APIs that have the ability to reach out to other applications upstream and downstream to incorporate information so that you get additional insights, if you will, from that case management data. And of course, analytics, business intelligence, the entire suite as outputs for our executive leaders for things like operational planning and risk.
Hmm.
A good example would be a unit was deployed at this date and time for response to X situation, right? And that was a success. So that could be highlighted within the system so that when a similar operation comes up in the future, versus them trying to figure out what's the best mix for them to have, they can go in and they can see that information and say, okay, we need this type of equipment, we need this gear, we need this type of truck, these types of comms. Press a button, make it happen. So
Full
again, Spartan,
situation awareness. Yep. Good.
exactly,
Hmm.
exactly. So Spartan has successfully implemented zero trust architecture, and our licensing and tracing portfolio is following on its heels. So the licensing and tracing pieces of our portfolio deal with, again, what you talked about early on, the industry piece, right? I want to go and buy a firearm. I have to go and do an E4473 at a FFL, which is one of the firearms licensors. And then there's a process there. That process then connects to several systems on the back end to make sure that I am authorized to purchase that firearm. And
Hmm.
then it returns a reply back. We've gotten that reply down from months down to hours. Again, because of those inter connections that we've done on the system side that are promoted primarily through zero trust architecture. So
And no
those
doubt those are, if I may, high valued assets